Welcome to the Conscious Leadership Podcast. In this podcast, we discuss the how-to of creating conscious leadership for business, life, and the world. With ordinary people doing extraordinary things and being truly in control of their own health, wealth, and happiness. Knowledge plus action with a plan creates magical results. Introducing your host, Julie Hogbin, author, international speaker, mentor, disruptor, and creator of conscious leadership, and property investor living in the UK. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the first live podcast session created by me for the Conscious Leadership Podcast. Very excited and actually quite scared because for those of you that know me know I can talk for England and I don't have an audience in front of me. So I'm also doing this as a Facebook Live. So if anybody on that has any questions, please ask and I'll refer through every now and then. So first session, first thing is motivation. One of those really key subjects for all of us, whatever we're doing with our life, wherever we are in our life. What is motivation? Why are we doing what we're doing? What gets us to where we are? What gets us up in the morning? What is it that actually truly motivates us? And it's key. So a definition I've worked with for many years, I've never seen one, read one, written one, created one that is any better, is that motivation is a conscious or unconscious driving force that arouses and directs action towards the achievement of a desired goal. So, if you really think about that, what does that actually mean? So, start to unpick it, conscious or unconscious. So, if you think about it, does that mean we always know what it is that is driving us or not? Do we know why we make the decisions we make or not? And if you think about us as the humans that we are, so research says, and so the experts say, 90% habit. So most of what we do because we've always done it that way. So when you think about motivation, we do what we do because we've always done it that way. Our habits create our actions. So conscious or unconscious, and this is a part of conscious leadership. If we can make our unconscious decisions conscious within life, leadership for business and life, we then make better decisions to get better results for us and everybody around us. So a conscious or unconscious driving force. So if you think about that, it's powerful. It's a driving force. So whatever our motivation is, it drives us forward. It drives us to achieve the thing that we are aiming for. And it arouses and directs action. Now, the thing with motivation, for us, it will be positive because it will always get us the result that we are looking for. And of course, sometimes that's an unconscious result. So it's powerful. It's a driving force in the achievement of a desired goal. So the thing that we are achieving, we want. Now, that may sound a little convoluted, but a conscious or unconscious driving force that arouses and directs action towards the achievement of a desired goal. To come back to the definition. So what does that really mean? Everything we do as the beings we are is goal-driven. Everything. Now, for us, those goals are positive. They may not always be perceived as positive by others and sometimes not by us either. So if you think about it, and I have to smile as I remind myself of this, how many of you that's listening now, you come home from work or you come home from your day or you're sitting in the garden, whatever it might be that you're doing, you have plans. You have plans to, weed the garden, write a book, create a podcast, do a Facebook Live, What else might you be? Cook dinner for your family. Phone your parents. Could be anything. But what do? You sit down, you slump in front of the telly. 2 hours later, you're still sitting there thinking, I didn't do any of those things I planned to do. And then when you think about it, it's like, well, why didn't I? So even in that moment, those behaviours of sitting slumped in front of the telly is giving you something that you want. Now, whether that's not making the phone call, not doing the weeding, it can be anything, but it's giving you something you want because your inner motivation has driven you to do that. Now, for some of us, and this has been my fault in the past, you will sit in front of the telly for an hour and you'll sit there with a bottle of wine and you'll drink that as well. And then you get up and you think, oh, I still haven't done the thing that I needed to do because I've been doing something else. So motivation is a complex subject that gets complex results. Everything we do is goal-driven. Everything we do is around giving us something we want. So the key to motivation is find out what motivates you. What is your inner driver? What are you really looking for? So if we look at some positive examples, so I'm sitting here doing a podcast, first recording, and for those of you on Facebook Live, you can see the sound barriers behind me, which I'm finding really interesting because I can't see anybody or anything. I haven't got an audience in front of me. But why am I doing a podcast? What's driving me to do this? It's a medium that is becoming increasingly popular for people to listen to. My definition of podcast, one of my definitions of a podcast, it's like a radio station that you can tune in and out of whenever you like. You can listen to different people interviewing different people. You can listen to any subject at any point. And some of the podcasts I listen to, so Rob Moore, Disruptive Entrepreneur, he has some fabulous interviews. Why do I listen to them? What's my motivation? To learn from people that are doing more than me. And there's various other podcasts I'm listening to. I'm listening to one with Russell Brand, but it's not him as a comedian. It's him as a person that's searching for his spiritual being. And again, very interesting. Why am I listening to that? A, because on occasions I laugh like a drain when he forgets to be really serious. And B, I'm learning from him and the people that he's interviewing. So again, what's my motivation? To learn and be entertained. But I'm also, again, what's my motivation? I listen to the podcast when I'm doing some exercise on an exercise bike in the morning because one of my other goals is to become fitter. So my combined motivations create things to happen and create habits. So let me ask you a question while you're sitting listening to this, either on the Facebook Live or on the podcast at some point. And today's International Women's Day. It's the 8th of March 2019 that this is being recorded. Bit scary on that one. But what's motivating you to do what you want to do? What is your driver? What's your passion? What's your purpose? Why do you do what you do? Now, a lot of this is unconscious, a lot of this is habit. And on a serious note, we are made to be the person we are generally between the ages of 2 and 7. So all of your upbringing will create a lot of the habits that you currently have. As adults, we are really just a bigger version of ourselves as a child, unless, there's lots of research on this, unless there has been a life-threatening incidents, or we choose through personal development to look at why we do what we do, change, if we need to, why we do what we do. So it's a really interesting subject. So the definition, just to conclude this very first episode, is a conscious or unconscious driving force that arouses and directs action towards the achievement of a desired goal. Now, if you want to follow up on this, I'm going to now record a couple of motivational theories as the next instalments. So my podcast, the Conscious Leadership Podcast, is going to be in bite-sized chunks. There will be interviews with people who have taken the decision to consciously lead their life and or their business. We're talking about all sorts of subjects. If anybody wants me to discuss anything in particular, let me know. But for the time being, I'm going to end this first recording. Thanks for listening to the Conscious Leadership Podcast. You can contact Julie on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and hear me out. Please subscribe to her YouTube channel for how-to videos and more content. And please message Julie to have your questions answered. Until next time, remember, knowledge plus action with a plan creates magical results. See it, say it, write it, believe it, and achieve it.